That's good. Are you guys at like a local state park or something, or is there a park?
A local park,
Yeah,
yeah.
local park. Not a lot of stateliness about it, but
No.
it's right across from the fire department, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's going to be great. So you guys will know that if, there's a
That's
local fire
handy
or
in
anything.
case you guys like start a fire or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cloudy, rainy episode of the Wild Edible World podcast. I am one of your hosts, Michael.
And I am Steve. Welcome to the what is this? The Murphy Park?
Yeah, sure. Welcome to the old Murph.
Yeah, the old Murph. That's what we'll call it from now on when we
Yeah.
record here.
Yeah.
More importantly, welcome our guest.
Yeah, we're here with Mike Snyder, who's one of the leads at Wildwise Botanicals down in South Central Missouri. We're really excited to have you, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Michael and Steve, for having me on. I really appreciate it. Glad to be here, and I love the podcast. You guys are doing great.
That's
You're awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
We met in last year sometime, I think in the springtime for Flyway Fungi Festival. We were both doing like walks there. And you were awesome. It was really nice to meet you then. And thanks again.
That's badass. I did not know that.
Hey, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I enjoyed your walk as well. Yeah, it's fun. I love going to Southern Illinois and doing stuff there. It's great, and our Flyway farm friends are always great. We're gonna actually try to make it back to that area next summer, I believe. We're kind of planning a little festival in that area.
How far away from that are you? Like how long of a drive is it?
I am pretty far from there. I'm about 4.5 hours from there.
That's
So,
about
yeah, it's a
that's
long
about
way.
how far we are from there. So we've been meeting.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're further, actually. I think about 6.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
So
I'll
it's
stop
like
complaining.
it's like down there.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if they're doing that
Yeah,
festival
sure.
again this year, or are you guys planning something separately next year?
No, we're going to be working with them. We're not doing anything this year, but next year, yeah, we'll be working with the Flyway farm folks, Mike and Jessica. They're really great. And I think we're going to the plan is to work with Touch of Nature, which is kind of like a nature park or something right in that area. So that should be really fun next summer.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's really exciting. Are you guys still calling it Flyway Fungi, or is it going to be like a whole new thing?
We haven't totally decided yet. That's a good question. Yeah. Maybe you guys can help us come up with a good name.
We are good at names.
We rule at
I know.
making names. Yeah.
No. No, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. So you have a lot of history in mushrooms and everything. Can you remember like the first time that you experienced this like revelation of like, oh my God, mushrooms are delicious. They can be all this stuff.
Yeah, so I may not have realized all of that at once, but the delicious part was definitely one of the first things. So yeah, the thing that really sparked my interest in mushrooms specifically. I had already been into foraging, and I was learning about kind of medicinal uses and edible plants, things that grow all around us. So we have 2 adult kids that are adults now, but when they were in their early teen years, we were on a family hike, and we stopped for lunch. And they had been studying a lot about kind of the plants and animals and everything here in our area, here in Missouri. And so we sat down for lunch, and we were eating our sandwiches. And I'll never forget, because it really was a cool experience. We were sitting there and we looked down this hillside. We were way up on a really high overlook with a big giant slope in front of us, and it was kind of a cleared out area in the woods. And we looked down and my kid said, "Hey, Dad, look, there's a bunch of mushrooms here." And I said, "Oh, really, mushrooms? Oh, okay, that's cool." I knew they had been learning about these types of things, so I was all for it. And I was, talking to them about it, and they said, "Dad, these are black trumpet mushrooms. We saw them in our mushroom pamphlet that you got us." And I said, "Black trumpet mushrooms."
What a
And
find, dude.
I looked at the mushrooms and I thought, what the hell are these things? These aren't mushrooms, you guys. Come on, these are weird black things all over the ground. And
They
so
certainly
they
aren't
said, no,
fresh,
Dad.
right? they
Yeah,
look. They don't look
they're
fresh.
like, no, Dad, no, we have read about these. They're black trumpets. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know about this, you guys, but we'll go ahead and pick them and take them home. So we threw them in the bread sack from our sandwich making. Took them home, and I looked through their pamphlet, and I thought, okay, there's like a drawing of this mushroom. It does resemble it. And then I got online and checked it out, and I was like, well, I'll be damned. I guess they are black trumpet mushrooms. And so we cooked them up and ate them. And as you can imagine, that was a pretty good introduction to wild mushrooms because they have a fantastic, very unique, strong umami flavor. And I was blown away. So that was pretty cool. We got really keyed into mushrooms after that and started looking for them on our hikes and all the places we would go. And that was kind of the very first thing that I remember really sparking my interest in mushrooms. So, I was in my early 30s at that time. So,
Wow.
almost 15 years ago. So, yeah.
That's beautiful how
I had
children
never
can like
even,
inspire us like that too.
yeah, and
Kind
I
of
had
led the way
never
on
even
that.
really considered, I'd never considered mushrooms before that, never really noticed them, didn't really think twice about them. I liked them on pizza, and that was about it.
Sure, and this is like a whole nother world of mushrooms. Those button mushrooms that you get
Yeah.
on pizza obviously are
Oh, yeah, they were
subpar.
nothing compared to
Yeah.
those black trumpets.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, I can only
So
imagine.
yeah, shortly after that, I got the Missouri's Wild Mushrooms Field Guide, and I dove into that thing, and I decided I wanted to learn about the mushrooms as much as I could because I quickly realized that there weren't very many people that knew very much about mushrooms, and so I was kind of intrigued by that. And then also we bought some property and kind of started our own little homestead, and so I was on one patch of land most of the time, all day, and I started to notice mushrooms. So I started learning about them and thought, wow, there's a lot more of these things than I ever realized. And hey, they do all this really cool stuff. So
Yeah.
just really dove in. I spent about 10 years on my own. I didn't know any other mushroom people. I didn't even really believe that they existed at that point. And so I just kind of geeked out, dove in deep, and learned a lot.
That's
Right
awesome, man.
on.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What about the first plant that you ever foraged? Do you know that?
The first plant I foraged, man, I don't know, but it would just have to be some yellow wood sorrel. I think like almost every other kid from the Midwest, we knew about those
100%.
things pretty early on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, I'm from a really rural area, so my family members, like my uncles and grandparents and stuff, they actually did forage. Like my uncle was he would forage different mushrooms, and there would always be like these weird plants hanging all around his house and stuff. And I remember that as a really small kid. So I was kind of exposed to foraging at an early age, but not in a way where I thought it was something cool. I just thought it was some weird thing. Yeah, I'll drink the sassafras tea. Yeah, I'll definitely eat that weed that's sour, but I didn't really think much else about it. But
Sure.
really, I had a lot of health problems in my early 20s, and I started to kind of get into looking for alternative ways to improve my health other than pills and surgery. So that's really changed my diet a lot. I learned a lot about just eating better food, organic food, locally produced meats, things like that. And of course, foraging goes right hand in hand with that. So I really
Yeah.
got into it. I was just amazed when I started to learn all of these plants that were all around me because I came at it from like kind of a medicinal side first because I was trying to find like these medicinal herbs that could make me feel better. So I started learning about all these medicinal herbs, and then it just clicked one time. I was like, man, most of these plants grow all around me, and I just did not even ever realize that. So
Yeah,
that was a
like
pretty
like
cool revelation. And
yeah, like gardening's cool, but what if you didn't have to do anything for it, right?
Yeah.
Except for walk around a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, that's funny that you say that. I was a gardener first. I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
same.
I'm going to grow my own food. This is the healthy way to do it. I'm going to do this. And of course, yeah, not long after that, I was just all about improving my health and getting a better diet and stuff. I grew up on Cheetos and corn dogs like every other
Same. Yeah,
90s and 90s
definitely.
Yeah.
kid. So I just smashed myself up as a kid, not unknowingly, of course, like most of us. And then I just realized that my food was key to recovery. And honestly, I'm healthier now than I've been in a really long time.
That's awesome,
Probably
man.
since I was a kid. So
Yeah, good to hear that.
definitely attribute a lot of that to changes in diet, things like that. So yeah, foraging was just hand in hand with the health improvements.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of my own successes in that area are based from foraging, even if it's just getting outside. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like physically is one thing, like getting up and walking around, but then also mentally, it's like a decompression for me. I feel like even when I'm out in the garden or playing in dirt or whatever, it makes me feel better. If I don't do it for long periods of time, I get anxious and kind of weird, you know.
Oh, certainly. If I do it for too long, I get kind of weird too,
Oh,
though.
for
But
sure. Yeah.
Weird in the other
kind of like the other
direction.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking over my shoulder at every noise and eyeing other humans with suspicion, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
if it's like 4 days or more in the woods, I start turning into a druid. You know, like moss
Yeah, yeah,
hanging
exactly.
from my ears and stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I love it. I
No,
love it.
no,
Yeah,
it's yeah. We're just
Oh yeah, it's lots
married.
of fun.
yeah.
I have been lucky to be able to kind of develop this little spot for us, and I grow lots of mushrooms here and plants and all kinds of things. And right in the middle of the forest, tons of public land all around us, and
There you go.
not including just our property. So I get to get out in the woods quite a bit.
That's
Still maybe
incredible.
not as much as I like to, but I definitely do. And that's kind of how I got so good with the mushrooms, is just getting in the woods so much and just reading all the stuff I can get my hands on about them.
Sure. What mushrooms do you grow on your property?
So I've been growing shiitake logs. This will be the 5th year that we've been growing them, and I've done 100 logs each year. So I'm up to almost 500 logs. Some of them have kind of outlived their usefulness at this point, but well over 400 of them. So that's a lot of fun.
That's a
growing all
lot
those
of
things.
logs.
That's a hell of a lot of logs,
Yeah, it's a
dude.
lot of logs. Yeah, no,
That's awesome.
it's definitely a lot of logs for someone who doesn't really sell mushrooms. So I need to get a handle on this habit of mine of inoculating shiitake logs.
What do you do with them? You just let them like grow out sometimes, or are you preserving
So
them and eating them?
like we do a lot of like classes and workshops, and we'll go to like festival type things and have parts in those. So it's nice to just have all these logs where I can just soak 25 or 30 logs and get a ton of mushrooms anytime I want, basically, and bring them to whatever I'm going to. And so I use them for that a lot. We dry a lot of them and make like a mushroom season salt that we take around and sell to events that we do.
Oh, that's
We sell
great.
it on our website. So that's pretty cool there. And also I just dry a lot of them and save them for later, for winter time when I can't just go make mushrooms whenever I want.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just laid a bunch
Yeah,
of
shiitake.
hardwood chips in my garden.
Oh yeah.
And my plan is to hit it with a little red wine cap spawn. I just have to figure out where the hell I'm gonna get it from. Clay did recommend somebody, so probably hit up them.
Oh yeah, wine caps are awesome, especially for I know you're a gardener, Steve. So
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with wine caps, man. They're amazing. We grew a wine cap as big around as my head a couple of times, so they're a lot of fun. Yeah,
What?
they're really fun.
That's
So
sweet.
yeah, we've grown those a few times here, and they're always cool.
Now, give me some
You have to
tips,
grow
man. I've
wine
never done
caps.
this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're easy, man. Make sure that I recommend putting some straw in the mix with the
Sure.
wood chips,
Yeah.
and that helps them colonize really quickly. And so that usually works. I use it as garden mulch, and grow the mushrooms in the mulch. And then I
Yeah.
also just construct separate beds where I grow the mushrooms. And one of the cool things about wine caps is that you can actually just grab handfuls of that myceliated wood chips, after your bed is fully colonized. You can just take them around to other wood chips, like your landscaping or even the mulch in your garden, and it'll spread them. So that's a lot of fun.
That's freaking awesome.
Do you need to keep it moist? Like whenever you first like introduce the mycelium, should you be watering the wood chips and stuff at all, or can you just let it ride?
So you really should. If it doesn't rain once a week, you definitely want to get some water on that bed for the first couple of months, because what's happening is the mycelium is spreading from the spawn into the substrate, the wood chips or straw, and they have to have humidity and moisture to do that. So for the first couple of months, yeah, you definitely want to keep it wet. That's why it works good in gardens, because people are usually watering their garden anyway. So
Yeah.
that works out good. If you construct a bed on its own, like I said, if it doesn't rain once a week, I'll go out and spray it down with the hose real good, get it real super wet. That usually is good enough. And then after a couple of months, after you can grab a handful of the stuff and see all the thick, white, ropey mycelium, at that point, you usually don't need to water it anymore. Now,
That's
it's
awesome.
important that if you're going to construct a separate bed, you want to put it in a shady spot for sure. You don't want it out in the bright sunlight. Of course, if you're growing them in your garden, you don't really have a choice. So
Yeah.
a lot of people will inoculate the mulch after the plants are up and they've created a little bit of shade, especially like tomato plants and
Gotcha. So wait for the mycelium to be shooting thick ropes, and then
Spider-Man,
Yeah,
mycelium, essentially. Michael.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
thick ropes. Yep.
thick ropes. Yeah. Do you want it in like full sun or partial shade?
That's what they call him, thick ropes baker.
Thank you, Steve.
The bed itself, I would definitely put in the shade, as shady as you can get.
Oh,
I usually do mine on the edge of the woods.
so like full shade, as shady as you can get.
Like most
Yeah.
shade.
Okay.
Yeah, then you just have the best chances of it not drying out. The biggest risk is drying out. Now you can put one in full sun if you keep it wet, like water it every day. That'd probably be okay.
Yeah, I got a few spots.
Honestly,
I'm so excited
they're really easy to grow. Yeah, they're really easy to grow. They're one of the most aggressive fungi that you can grow. So they're pretty nice.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We've also grown oysters on logs, and
Sure.
of course we've done lots of little grow kits and stuff. And then we've grown lion's mane outdoors on logs.
I feel like
and
you can
also
grow
lots of
oysters on
different-
anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like oysters you can grow on like shitty old oysters, you know? Like
can,
grow
yeah.
new oysters.
Yeah, you probably could dried oysters on grow them on the dried oysters.
Yeah, it's just kind
Yeah,
of like
oysters
an
are
infinite
tough.
system, you know?
Yeah, oysters are certainly tough, and that's why anytime you go to a farmer's market and there's a mushroom vendor, they're invariably selling oyster mushrooms.
Oh, for
at
sure.
least.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just so aggressive, so easy to grow. Like you said, they'll grow on pretty much anything. Yeah, they break down cellulose and lignin, which is a lot of mushrooms do either or. So they're a pretty tough fungus.
Yeah, there was a farmer's market that I went to in Kalamazoo, and you know what? The one thing I was surprised most by is the price of elderberries, like the price of elderberry clusters. It was fucking outrageous. It was like one droop, like one cluster of
Really?
elderberry, and it was like $8 or some shit like that. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah. That's sad. Things like elderberry that get really hyped up, you
Yeah,
charge
exactly.
more for.
That's true. And I bet people
Mushrooms
are
are
charging
similar.
like $8 a ounce for mullein,
Probably.
and that
Right,
stuff grows
yeah,
like a
mullein,
weed.
yeah. That's so crazy to me.
And I'm sure
Yeah,
you've seen
mullein.
it.
So, what's your favorite mushroom? You grow a few. You've eaten a bunch by this point. What's your numero uno?
And I think my number one mushroom has got to be maitake, or into the woods.
Yeah.
Diafola frondosa.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
top
such
two
a
for
great. It's so versatile, so tasty. You get a large amount. You just have to find one hen, and you've got 5 pounds of mushroom. or way
Exactly.
more, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're just so tasty. I love making jerky out of hens.
I was just gonna
It's
say,
one of
what's
my
your favorite
things.
thing to do? That's the one thing I haven't
Yeah.
done.
Same. Yeah, I haven't made mushroom jerky.
Oh,
No.
I'm so excited this season.
Oh, you have to get on that. Yeah, jerky is where it's at, especially with the hen of the woods, but lots of other mushrooms too. Even shiitake is good that way.
Really?
Lion's mane makes really fantastic
Oh,
jerky.
yeah.
That's
Oh, I bet.
I can imagine that.
really good texture. Yeah, kind of chewy, chewy little nuggets.
Do you sell
So-
dried jerky at all? Or I know you guys have like a couple products under Wildwise.
What's that? I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Actually, do you mind holding on for 1 second? We're gonna move under the gazebo.
Okay, yeah. You guys getting rained on?
No, the meth heads left.
Oh,
So
Nice.
we should be able to just like pick it up and walk it on over.
well, if they come back, just get them in on the show,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they have a lot to add.
I'll make a second trip.
Oh, yeah. I did a talk at a library one time. It's a really small town library here nearby, and I think like 5 people showed up or something. There were tornado warnings and stuff, so nobody came out. And 2 of the people were this really drunk couple. I don't think they listened to anything I said. It's a pretty dense presentation about mushrooms. Like, if you're not into it, you should not be there, But they seemed like they really enjoyed it. It was pretty hilarious.
Still have managed to have a blast.
Yeah, we've definitely had our occasional, accidental guest.
Oh yeah. I will be right back.
All right.
Encounters in the park are inevitable.
So give me some more shiitake stuff, or I'm sorry, not shiitake, maitake recipes. So you like jerky. What else do you do with it?
Jerky's really good. I like them. There's this really good soup that you can make. Use like a brown stock and make a soup. That's awesome. And even just sauteed and put in some stir fry or something. And that's really good too. I actually really want to eat some right now. Oh, and pickled shiitake is fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've never pickled it. Michael has a really great recipe for like a pickled chicken of the woods.
All right, yeah. You can probably do the same recipe.
Sure.
Actually, you know what I do? I will just make like pickles just like a cucumber pickle. Just use mushrooms instead, and that's pretty good.
So tell me more about this homestead. How much land do you got out there?
So we have almost 30 acres. We started with 5, and we've kind of bought up some of the spots that have come up for sale around us.
Wow.
It's mostly a creek bottom, mostly woods, kind of a rocky hillside, but we have a big garden, and I built lots of rock terraces around with medicinal herbs growing in them, and like tea herbs and stuff like that. Big mushroom growing area, and then we have a creek that goes through the bottom, and we've created a bunch of pretty cool like hiking trails down in there. So we'll have groups out to our place and do nature walk type things.
30
So that's a lot of
acres.
fun.
That's incredible, man.
That's about 30 acres. Yeah,
No
you guys
kidding.
have to come down and check it out.
Sigh.
What's wrong, buddy?
Well, I just realized this mushroom supplement I bought isn't actually made with mushrooms. It's made with something called myceliated grain.
Myceliated grain?
Oh, no!
I'm sorry to tell you, buddy, but myceliated grain is a sure sign of a poor quality mushroom supplement.
Well, dang. I wanted mushrooms, not brown rice. What should I do?
Well, you should support a small batch producer from right here in the Midwest, Keweenaw Apothecary.
Keweenaw Apothecary, tell me more.
Keweenaw Apothecary specializes in high-quality mushroom extracts from Michigan, and they always use real mushrooms, never myceliated grain.
That sounds like exactly what I've been looking for. Where can I order?
Well, you can find them at keweenawapothecary.etsy.com. That's KEWEENAW apothecary.etsy.com. Be sure to read their many excellent reviews.
Thanks, buddy. I don't want no low-quality mushroom products from a factory. I want Keweenaw Apothecary.
Wowie wow! Wowie wow! We've got a new hot sauce for you.
It's so delicious.
It's spicy.
It's spicier for sure.
Spicier. It's called Harvest Moon, made with ghost peppers, American persimmons,
and spice bush berry.
It's gonna be great. We also have t-shirts available. Brand new t-shirts.
The best t-shirts, I think.
Baseball tees.
Scrumpers United.
If you've collected apples, if you've collected fruit, you're
welcome to the club.
You're welcome to a club. You're a scrumper. So check out our merch store, wildedyblesworldpod.myshopify.com. Wowie wow! Believe it. Part of the 2030 Wild Edible World Edibles Across America tour. No, not like that.
But kind of like that. A little bit like that.
Right, yeah, you have to clarify in your tour name.
Yeah, I think it'll be the No, Not Like That tour.
Yeah. I actually really like that. Get t-shirts made, sell them out of the van.
Yes,
yeah,
Wild
anybody
Edible.
could wear that, and it could apply to lots of different things. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of good podcast ideas from you guys and merch ideas, I love the Sam Thayer shirts.
Oh, dude.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. You and Cara, thank you both for buying them, wearing them, posting about them especially.
Yes.
Did you see that, Steve?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that was super cool, man. That was cool that Sam Thayer chimed in. It's funny because Cara tagged him on that post, and after she did that, I was like, oh, I don't know if they if they really wanted you to do that.
Oh yeah, no,
Because,
I mean,
yeah.
it's fine.
Michael, you had said, at one point that, oh, I don't even know if Sam would like this or whatever. So that was pretty
I was a little hesitant to believe that he'd find it flattering and not think it
Right.
was. I don't know. He's got a great sense of humor, so I don't know. That's just me
Yeah.
being just a little. I don't know, a little hesitant. I'm glad he liked it. I'm glad you guys like it a lot. I hope you think they're comfortable, and I hope you guys
Yeah,
continue to
they're
wear 'em.
great.
I love
They're
mine.
great. I'll
for
probably
sure.
not encounter anyone that gets the joke, but that's okay.
Yeah, I've had to explain it to several people.
Same. And then
Right,
anytime they're like, "Oh, I love Slayer," it's like, "No, it's like Thayer," and they're like, "What's that?" It's like, "Oh, he's an author," and then they just walk away, completely lost interest. But oh well.
Yeah, his daughter actually reached out on Instagram and like said, "Oh, this is so crazy that Sam is my dad and Nature's Garden is dedicated to me." And then she said she would buy a shirt. So
Oh yeah, well, I reached out and Mirica, shout out Mirica Gale. I'll be bringing her a shirt for at the Wild Edible or the Midwest Wild Harvest Festival, which
that's awesome.
will be there. I'll be there. I'll be selling merch and stuff. If you guys want to hang out, I won't have a table or anything. They're not cool with that.
Right. Okay.
Have you been to
Is that the one,
Yeah, that's the
No,
one up
tell me
in
more about
Wisconsin.
yeah, in Wisconsin, right? Yeah, and Sam is there, and is Alan Virgo associated with that?
He always does the food there. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Jeez, man, I wish something like that was closer to me. That's like crazy. Also, my friend Tavis Lynch, I think, goes to that. You see Tavis there? He's a mushroom guy.
Davis with a D.
Tavis with a T.
Oh,
It's like Davis but with a T.
no, I don't believe
anyway,
so.
he's involved with the Wisconsin Mycological Society, and I think he goes to that too. Anyway.
I'll have to name drop you if I happen to run into him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would love to go to that every year. I see, people talking about that over the last couple of years, and I'm like, oh man, that's something I really need to go to.
It's definitely worth like the trip. I am finding it more and more difficult every year to justify it, but that's
Right.
just because it's like it's just an expensive use to go hang out with my friends. Like I don't really learn that much anymore there. They tend to have a lot of the same educators, but like the first year it was like, oh, this is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, I learned so much, and it's not that I don't learn anything. I still learn stuff from Dwight about fermentation and like this stuff that you can turn into sodas and how amazing some of this random stuff out there will just taste so delicious. So that always
There's
continues
always
to
more
blow
to
me away.
learn.
That's exactly, of course, yeah. The curfew sucks.
But I kind of
though.
know what you mean. Like after you've learned kind of a lot of the basic stuff of foraging, you do like when you go to a festival or an event, you're kind of just like, well, okay, I know that and that, but at least I learned this new thing.
There's always a good silver lining to take away from it. But I think now that I'm like saying it out loud, I think what it really is the curfew. I think I don't like the curfew. They take it pretty seriously.
Well, oh really? They didn't want people to be quiet at nighttime. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Well, you got to get up at like 5 a.m. and sign up for classes. And then it's go, go, go.
It's go, 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 right. That's pretty intense.
It is. Anyway, so you said you're...
make it up there someday.
Yeah, you got it. And if you do let me know. We'll definitely, if I'm not there, let's like meet up on the way on the journey up, and hopefully we'll make it down in your area in the meantime, in between time. Do you have any walks or anything going on in the near future?
So, we have lots of things actually. People should check out our website, wildwisebotanicals.com. Go to our events page, and we have a list of all the things we have coming up. A lot of our stuff is sold out, but I think there's a few things left on there that people could possibly attend. We have some really cool stuff coming up later in the fall as well that is not listed on there yet. So lots of things on the horizon. That's
okay.
For sure.
Nice.
Keeping very busy. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the Mycological Society. I'm heading up the research committee, and we're about to start a big initiative of sequencing mushroom specimens from around the state. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's so important, like having a mushroom sequencing program. Like I love that that's such a new thing, and more people and more organizations are really kind of wrapping that in.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about it. Actually, today I spent some time taking some collections, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's going to be really cool. We're excited about that. Missouri fungi are pretty understudied. It's um,
Truly.
there's a lot still to be learned. That's for certain about Missouri mushrooms. So that'll be fun to get into that more. Later in the fall, I've got a couple events. I'm going to do a mycology workshop with my friend Jay Justice and Carrie McCabe. They're two Arkansas mycologists,
Nice.
and that should be a ton of fun. And then, of course, doing some other kind of mushroom related things. But the website is the best way to check that out. Oh, I did just sign a contract to write a book with Falcon Guides. It's
Oh, I love Falcon Guides.
foraging mushrooms of the Ozarks. Should be
That's
pretty cool. It's going to be focused on edible, medicinal, and toxic mushrooms of the Ozarks bioregion. Should be pretty
Congrats.
cool. They're
good for you, dude.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
awesome.
pretty exciting. Yeah, Falcon Guides even the real deal, right?
Yeah, I love them. I was in talks with them to submit a proposal for a Chicagoland area foraging book.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
did you
that would be fantastic.
did you approach them, or did they ask you?
Ooh, good question, and I'm so glad you asked it because I've had a real run of luck the last few years, and I've become good friends with my buddy Bo Brown, who wrote Foraging the Ozarks and Foraging Central Grasslands. They're both Falcon Guides, and we've done a bunch of events together and hung out quite a bit, and we just kind of hit it off. So he was talking to his publisher, and they mentioned that they wanted to do a mushroom book
Oh,
for the
wow.
Ozarks, and he said, I know just the guy, and he put me in contact with him, and I did the proposal and signed the contract. Yeah, pretty
That's
simple, man.
so fucking cool.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Right,
That's awesome.
doesn't get any luckier than that, really, right?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily. It's not even luck. You put in the time, you put in the work, you made those connections and those relationships. So it's like what this podcast is all about is like building relationships and telling those stories. That's awesome.
Well,
Good for you,
I
man.
appreciate that, and that is certainly true. I mean, that's what I'm all about. I want to, get it as many people into mushrooms as possible, and that is kind of my daily mission. So everything I can do to make that happen, keep doing it. Got lots of other fun stuff on the horizon too that we haven't even announced. Fungi University is a new thing that my friend
Nice.
Jesse and I are working on, and we're doing that in cahoots with Britt Bunyard, who is a pretty well-known mycologist. He's pretty awesome, so we're going to do a whole online set of mycology courses. So that's coming up later this year. That should be pretty awesome too.
Wow. Oh, I think I saw something about online mushroom university or something. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, everybody go follow and like Fungi U or Fungi University, Instagram and Facebook. I think TikTok also. Yeah, it's good stuff. Right now, we just put out a few videos about the cicada invasion, and Britt talking about Massospora, which is an entomopathogenic fungi that infects cicadas, and it has a really fascinating life cycle and pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, Fungi U. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
That's awesome. I love the logo. Very fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
Oh
That
yeah,
is
it's
pretty cool.
good, right? Yeah, that's pretty good, right? My friend Jesse, man, he is on top of all that kind of stuff. He's amazing. He's just really good at pooling resources and figuring out how to solve problems. It's really great. Yeah, the logo turned out really nice.
Oh,
Glad to hear you guys like it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how that the class you guys churn out. I'm looking through
This literally, we just started this, so I think we have 2 followers on Instagram or something. We
All
just
right.
started it.
Well, you're gonna get 2 more.
All right, good. Yeah, that should be pretty cool. The videos are great. Britt is really super knowledgeable. He's one of those mycologists that knows stuff about every kind of mushroom. He knows all these different things about all these different areas of mycology. So he's pretty awesome. A wealth of knowledge, that's for sure. He lives up by you guys somewhere. He's Chicago area.
Huh.
Nice.
Okay. I'll have to check
Yeah,
him out.
he's the editor in chief of Fungi Magazine.
Fungi Magazine.
Yeah, Fungi Magazine. Yeah, it's the
Dang.
#1 mushroom journal on the planet.
Wow.
It's a great magazine. He's also the I don't know what they call him, but the head honcho of the Telluride Mushroom Festival. So that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, Britt's a good dude. I'm glad to be working with him.
Cool. So I'm looking through your, kind of scanning through your Instagram here. I saw the pheasant back jerky. Is that what that is? You got a bunch of pheasant backs, and
Yeah.
the jerky looks good, man.
Yeah, I'll hook you up with the recipe. It's easy. It's super
Ooh,
easy.
that
And
does look
I've
good.
made jerky with I think I've made jerky with a dozen different mushrooms at this point, and they've all been good.
Definitely send me a recipe. I'd like to. It'd be cool to share that as part of the post featuring you guys.
Definitely.
And yeah,
Yeah, cool.
picture of that.
Share the fungi.
Yeah, Dryad Saddle, the Dryad Saddles get kind of a bum deal because
they
people
sure do.
are usually not paying attention to those. But man, they have some good flavor. If you can make it where you can eat them, chew them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll admit it. They're not my favorite, but I'm open to trying new
they're
things.
tough.
Yeah.
New recipes.
Yeah, if you get really little baby ones, they can be tender enough to just stir fry. But mostly, I like to make a stock out of them, and then I freeze that and use it later. And I use it to make like Thai soup. I use that as the stock, and oh man, it's done.
Oh wow.
That sounds awesome.
It just has its own kind of flavor profile thing going on. But the jerky's good too.
I see a little bit further down a very wonderful picture of you and Cara, right? Your wife?
Yeah, Cara, yeah.
And so you guys both, do you guys usually do like the presentations together, or?
No, I'm pretty much the blabbermouth, man. I'm the extrovert. I pretty much do all that stuff. And I've been studying mushrooms a long time, but she is certainly the guiding force because she keeps me in line. She makes me remember everything that I would usually forget.
Yeah.
And she comes along and, makes sure everything's going smoothly.
That sounds familiar.
I do most of the talking.
Right on. Yeah, she's in most of the pictures, so I wasn't sure if...
she...
along for the ride, at
so
least.
Cara,
Ride or die,
Cara
right?
wasn't into mushrooms. Cara wasn't into mushrooms at first, but she came around eventually. So that's good.
Reminds me of some other my wife I know.
Hey, that's cool. That's good, though. I mean, I was probably 10 years geeking out on mushrooms before I got her on board, so I should have tried harder earlier. It would have worked out better. But now we've been having a lot of fun. We've been really lucky to be able to do all these classes and workshops that are selling out and getting all these kind of speaking engagements and stuff.
I love that. Yeah.
Congrats.
Fucking good for you, dude. That's so cool.
Fantastic. Yeah. Really loving it.
So this is a pretty snap neck callback to the very beginning of the episode where you said that you spent some time outside today foraging. Can you tell us a little bit? Like, did you find anything good?
So I was looking for chicken of the woods today, so I hit up a local state park, and I did not find any chicken of the woods. But I did find, I think I collected 20 different species today, so that's pretty cool.
Righteous.
I found a couple amanitas, so it was really early for that genus to be out. So
Interesting.
I'm excited about that. Got some really good photos of them. I'm sure you'll see those on Instagram soon. Let's see, what else? Nah, mostly, it's funny because I opened up my little tackle box at the end of the hike, and I was like, all right, let's see how everything looks all together. And almost every mushroom was brown. So not a lot of color going on today. But
it's not like, yeah, okay. It's not like a rainbow
just a
or
bunch
anything.
of brown mushrooms. Yeah, there weren't any red or orange or yellow. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, usually you can get a good spread.
It sounds like an uneventful day, but for me it was a lot of fun. Kind of like we were saying earlier, getting in the woods is just good for you. And
Exactly.
although the mosquitoes were dive bombing me, and the ticks were everywhere, I still had a great time. And I get excited about almost every mushroom. So.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, that's the point. It's not just about the parts that are eatable or the ones that'll make you silly. It's it's just the joy and the novelty and freshness of life. Waking up every day and seeing that stuff.
Yeah, totally. Once you start to key into just the huge variety and the kind of mysteriousness of fungi, it just gets really exciting. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Plus, you get to walk in the woods and breathe in all those plant exhalations and do some forest bathing. People pay big bucks for that, right?
Right. Yeah, no shit. They pay you big bucks for that.
Yeah, right. Actually, I do crack that joke sometimes, and then I think, I probably shouldn't do that because I did charge these people money to come here.
Not make light at their own expense.
Right.
That's awesome.
They might second guess their purchase afterwards. It's like wearing a big shirt that says "Give me your money, sucka" or something. I probably shouldn't do that.
All right, Mike, it's been really awesome chatting with you, dude. I think we'll probably wrap this up. Just want to make sure that people remember to give you a follow over at Wise Wild. Wait, sorry. Okay, at Wildwise Botanicals.
Check out Fungi U.
Fungi U, yep. Check out their website, wildwisebotanicals.com. Mike and Cara Snyder.
I feel like this is nice. It was a nice intro. I feel like we have plenty more episodes ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
Especially once we get in person.
Come back anytime.
Nice, man.
Yep,
Thank you so much.
Anytime. We can talk mushrooms.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to get you in person sometime, too, man. Yeah.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll run in.
Maybe next summer might be a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, maybe we'll come to your festival.
There we go.
Yeah, that'd be a good opportunity. I'm sure there'll be lots of other fun stuff going on there, too. Not just me.
Yeah, you heard it here from Steve. We're going to the festival.
Probably if our wives let us.
Well, cool. You guys are doing a great job with the podcast. Keep it up. I listen to every episode, and there are actually only a handful of podcasts that I've ever listened to in my life. So that's good,
that's
right?
awesome.
Wow,
We'll definitely take that as a compliment.
That really means a lot to us, man. Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. Well, nice to meet you.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. See you later, bud.
Have a great week. Mike Snyder.
Oh, wait, let's give it like a couple seconds just so people can hear this rain. I love it. It's
That
so
thing
nice.
be thangin'.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah. Mike's so cool.
What a guy, man.
Yeah, really awesome to meet him. He was there for my first time I ever found red mulberry, like a true native red mulberry. Just kind of like out of nowhere. I was just talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, it kind of looks like this, and then it's also got some of these, and oh my God, I think this is it. And then it turns out, you look at the leaf, it was huge, it had the right branching pattern. Sure enough, like right in the backyard of Flyway Fungi Festival, right where I was doing my edible plant walk, there was a big red mulberry there. Perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was really cool. He was along for that walk. Yeah, definitely check them out. They're awesome.
Yeah, seems like a good dude.
Yep.
Can't wait to talk to him again.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Right.
I hope we really do.
And I can't wait to talk to you guys again.
Literally.
Yeah.
We're almost on 100 reviews on Spotify, so if you guys want to give us a couple 5-star reviews, if you can, if you haven't done that yet. If you have, thank you so much. But yeah, we're almost at 100. That'd be really cool if you guys could boost us up. Helps us reach new people and spread the show. And
Do it.
yeah, spread that good plant life talk. Love you guys.
Miss you already.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.